Hello, everybody. I can't see you. You're too dark. My name is Ali May. I am a TV presenter and the new kid in the content market block. Today, I am privileged to introduce to you the number 3 most creative in business. She works for the most valuable toy company in the world, and one can easily claim that her efforts to turn toy bricks into a screen hit contributed a great deal for Lego's position today. Since 1932, Lego has built its success, and at its core, that brand, one toy brick at a time. If you are one of those people who believe there is no such thing as an overnight success, Lego is such a great example. But before we welcome to stage Jill Wilfert, let's have a little watch to their clip.
Everything is awesome. Making a jump to light speed in 3, 2, 1.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when we're part of a team. Everything is awesome when we're living our dream. Everything is better when we stick together. Side by side, you and I gonna win forever. We're the same, I'm like you, you're like me. We're all working harmony.
Cut! All right, who replaced Batman's Batarang with a bat? Robin?
Upside down, let's see those smiles all around. Riding scooters through the park, getting home before it's dark. Comfy shoes and candy bars, playing tunes on my guitar. Summer dress, playing on the bar.
Ninja, come on, we're gonna do it again. We just jump up, kick back, whip around and spin. Ninja, jump up, kick back, whip around and spin.
Yeah, because no one's ever been able to pull it off before. Nice work, team dudes. But I lost. That never happens.
You know, you'd think after 2 examples your expectations would be lowered already, but if they're not, lower them more!
By lowering your expectations, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jill Wilfert to stage. Hello, Jill.
Hey, Ali.
So Lego is all about interactivity and fun. So we thought, let's start with a bit of fun. Can you all take out your smartphones and hold them in your hand like that? Everybody, come on. I need a picture of you. Okay. Now, we have a little competition for you. What you're going to do, basically, is you can see my Twitter handle. You're going to tweet to me your ideas for Lego. A new theme, a new character, something amazing that Lego can probably use. The best idea, the person who suggests the best idea, will get a 15-minute meeting with Jill, who's the 3rd most creative person in business this afternoon. The second best is going to get even a better prize, a box of Lego. So get tweeting, and we will start.
Yes, and my team asked if they could participate because I've been traveling a lot and they need to. They haven't been able to get a meeting with me, but I've told them no, they're not allowed to participate. So wherever you are, guys, no, you can't tweet.
No pressure then. So Jill, it has taken a while for Lego to get into the content game. Why have you chosen this point at the company's history to do that?
Mm-hmm. No, and that's a great question, Ali. I think there were several things happening, really converging, that really gave us the confidence to dip our toe in the water in terms of content. And first and foremost, what we were seeing, working with a lot of the fantastic properties that are out there, things like Star Wars, Harry Potter, all of the wonderful things from Disney, we were really seeing that adding that dimension of story and characters to the Lego play was driving engagement and really facilitating that kids were building and playing even more with Lego, which is always what we're trying to do. So we really felt that that could be a way to continue to build the brand. We also were finding that people were demanding it. So we weren't offering it, and the creative world out there went out and just did it themselves. So Lego is one of the most popular brands and continues to be one of the most popular brands on YouTube. And people were creating fabulous content, and we actually were really inspired by that. And there's a piece of content where Eddie Izzard does a very famous routine where he talks about the Star Wars canteen or the Death Star canteen, and someone actually took Lego and animated a short to that, and it's not appropriate for a child's audience, but it was hilarious, and I think we really saw the potential. So we started off creating shorts and did some shorts, and those were well received. Then we did one TV special, then 2 TV specials, and then moved on to TV series, and then really culminating this year with the Lego movie, which has launched and been really hugely successful, and we're very proud of it. And I think the other thing that was happening at this point in time was there was just so much demand for content. And distributors were looking for unique content, and where Lego was able to come in and offer something different was we were innovative, but we were also familiar. So there's so much content out there, having a recognized brand like Lego attached to it actually was seen as a big benefit. So I think that's really what gave us the confidence to give it a go.
You might have started late, but your content has been doing greatly, as you're mentioning. We're going to get to the Lego movie in a minute, but how important is the content side to the company now? And if you can maybe quantify what proportion of your business is content now, that would be great.
Yeah, I can talk about that. Really what we do with Lego and any experience that we create, we want to exceed expectations. So whether that is with our toys, with our content, with our video games. So when we set off down this path, that was really what we were looking to do, to try to exceed expectations. And we're very pleased that we're seeing that. The audience has responded. They love our content. What was equally important to us was to exceed expectations for our partners. So we've had some wonderful partners that have worked with us and people who believed in us from the very beginning. I have to shout out to Cartoon Network in particular. There and Adina Pitt, I don't know if she's in the room, but she was one of the very first believers. And I think that was because she had a personal relationship with the Lego brand through her son. So for us, it's really not so much been about developing this as a separate business that is going to drive a new revenue stream for the Lego company, but really when we're creating content, it's about driving engagement and building the brand. Mm-hmm. And that continues to be where we'll focus. I have to say, for my distribution team who is here doing a lot of deals, that doesn't mean that we're looking to give our content away for free. We feel that our content has fantastic value. Our content's very high quality, like everything else we do within Lego. We spend a lot of money developing it. We also have proven results where our content is actually strong and performs ahead of or on par with all of the top content out there. And we support it tremendously, so we feel like that does justify working with the broadcasters in a traditional way and distributors in a traditional way.
Mm-hmm. One thing that you have mentioned, and we all know, is that Lego is a loved brand. Even if I haven't played with it for 25 years, when I hear the name Lego, something happens to me deep inside. As a company, I know you're very aware of this, but how does that inform your decision-making when it comes to producing and designing and developing new products?
Yes. No, absolutely, we take that very seriously. And I would say I've had the privilege with my job to travel around the world, and any advice I have for you, or a piece of advice I have for you, going into a customs officer in countries, they're normally not the friendliest people you're gonna meet. But as soon as you say that you work for Lego, you get a smile and a completely different change in their demeanor. So if you're having a challenge getting through customs, just say you work for Lego.
Off the record.
Essentially, we do take it seriously, and we consider it an obligation that we don't disappoint people who love the brand, because they do have this strong personal relationship with Lego. And we consider it in everything that we do, in terms of how we approach our development, how we approach our product, how we approach our quality, our safety. And in terms of our content, I think there are times when the temptation would be to maybe be a little bit more edgy and go more for a teenage appeal. And we've really managed to find the right balance. where we're maintaining a really broad appeal, but we're never inappropriate. So that's something that we really strive to do, because we know we don't want to let people down. So for us, it's always a calibration, and we're very focused on doing things that work globally. We are a global company, so trying to figure out what works and is appropriate for a German mother versus for an American audience is sometimes interesting for us, but I think we're able to kind of walk that fine line.
That was the side of the audiences, but there's also another thing. It's about your partners. And you're very famous for being extremely fussy with who you choose to work with. What's the value in that, and how has that helped you?
Yeah, no, I think in terms of, we're in a fortunate position because we can pick and choose who we want to work with. We're also a privately held company, so we can make our decisions based on what's best for our brand, first and foremost. So we are able to do things for the right reasons. And yes, we can be a fussy company, absolutely, but it is all about protecting the brand, because that is the most valuable asset that we have. So we do take it seriously.
I suppose that's the culmination of all those elements that makes you basically dominate the building block market with 85% share. That is massive. And for the first time in your history, you have become the largest toy maker in the world. That is despite the fact that you have barely even touched China. What are the plans?
Yes, no, definitely there's a focus on continuing to expand. And actually it's quite interesting because we've been in markets like Germany or Denmark for a very long time, and I think there was a belief that we couldn't grow in those markets because the brand's been there and has been in the top market share position. But we have been able to continue to innovate, and I think we've been able to stay to the core of our business, but deliver that in different ways. So we have seen tremendous growth actually in those markets, and then as we look towards taking the LEGO experience around the world, we do see Asia as a big priority, in particular China, and we have established a footprint there, and we'll be continuing to expand and looking for relevant ways to reach that consumer. The mission of the LEGO company, and it is something that people truly believe in, it gives them motivation to get up every day and come to work, is to develop the builders of tomorrow. And we really do feel like what we do, and we can feel very good about it. And kids playing with LEGO is something that does develop them, and we feel we'll give them the skills to succeed as we look into the future.
I'd like to go back to China one more time. You've already built a manufacturing plant there, is that right?
We're in the process of building a manufacturing plant, yes. There.
So, and is that how you're trying to basically establish yourself as a brand that the Chinese kids will eventually get to know?
I don't think it'll necessarily be driven by the manufacturing plant. Really, our strategy there is more to be closer to the market so we can react to the dynamics in the market. So LEGO was one of probably the few toy companies that has not been producing significant amounts of our product in China. But as we're looking to develop that market, we want it to be close. I think what we'll do is the way we've looked at all of markets is spending a lot of time on research and really understanding the Chinese consumer, how do they relate to the brand, and establishing the brand that way. I think one of the wonderful things that we found in doing some initial research, we weren't sure if the product was relevant. And we really saw that the LEGO product and the LEGO Play was highly relevant to the Chinese consumer. So as much as people are different, in some ways they're the same. So our product offering we know will work, it's just how we wrap it up and deliver it.
Talking about the product, there's this insatiable desire in entertainment consumers for the new. And if you're an app company, it's easy enough to churn out a new character or even a set of new environments. But how's that for LEGO? How quickly can you respond to what's happening, and how can you bring out new products that will keep your audiences interested?
Yeah. And I'm not sure if I totally agree that it's easy to create characters. I think it's easy to create them, but whether they resonate with kids and are successful is another story, or if not, everyone would be out there with the next big hit. So we are pretty methodical about what we do. Mm-hmm. We do a lot of research, and we really try to understand kids and how they relate to what we're doing. So in a new concept development phase, we'll be 3 years out. Working on really just testing things, and we do go out globally to kids, and then we'll iterate and we'll take their feedback and their input and continue to develop. So we do that both with content and with our products. So we do have a longer lead time. The great thing about Lego, though, is it is such a strong core experience that it's not like we're having to completely come up with an innovative experience. It's really more in how we deliver the experience where we're driving the innovation.
Jill, when was the last time you played with your kids using Lego?
Probably, let's see, I've been gone since last Tuesday, so probably last Monday. So yes, I have 3 boys and we play a lot with Lego, absolutely.
Let's have a look at your work. You're the Vice President for Licensing. What does that involve?
Yes, I think I've been told by people that I have the best job in the industry because I get to talk about Lego, and everybody loves Lego. I get to work with all of the studios who are wonderful and see all of the new properties in development. So my team reviews all the different properties that are out there and available, and we're in the fortunate position that everyone would love to work with Lego and have their property immortalized in a Lego format. But we really look at them and try to determine what is the best fit for the company, for the objectives that we have, whether it's looking for something for preschool or girls, boys, everyone. So that's something that we'll evaluate. We look for properties that are global in nature, generally, because we are a global company. We need that scale and scope. And we look for things that fit with our brand. And that's, as we already discussed, that's incredibly important to us, that there is a fit and it makes sense to the consumer for the association.
Let's say someone in the audience has an offering for you. What's that sort of X factor that you're looking into that property pitch?
Yeah, I think for us, we are definitely not necessarily the company that's going to be the ones taking the front-running position. So we're a little more conservative, and we look for things that have a proven track record, that are a little more tried and true, versus kind of taking something that's brand new on the block.
The Lego Movie. I have a few questions for you on that. I'm sure the audience will be very interested in that. And that was one of the reasons that the Fast Company called you the 3rd most creative person in business. So let's talk about the nitty-gritty. How did the movie come about?
Yes. I wish I could say that it was my brilliant idea to make the Lego Movie, but unfortunately there's a few people in the room who know that's not true. Essentially I can probably thank my friends at Hasbro because what happened was after the Transformers movie broke and was just so well received, we started getting phone calls from producers and studios who were interested in acquiring the rights to the Lego brand. The interesting thing that was happening, we were really not necessarily looking to get into the movie business at that point in time. Again, we're a conservative Danish company, and I think there was a strong contingency in the company who felt like that was too risky. Mm-hmm. It would add a layer of volatility to the business that we weren't sure. We were actually on a good track record at that point in time. And the other thing that was happening is we were getting approached, but people didn't really have an idea. They just said, we want to make a Lego movie, in very Hollywood fashion. Lego, movies. Warner Brothers was one of the first people who approached us. We had a long-standing relationship, a very positive relationship with them on the consumer product side and also through our video games that we do. So we at least entertained a meeting and a conversation, and we told them that they needed to come back with an idea, like what would a Lego movie entail. They got some fantastically creative filmmakers involved and really were able to convince us that there could be some potential in a Lego movie, and we're happy that they did so because it certainly has been a fantastic success for us.
One of the really interesting things that you managed to do with the movie was you convinced many different IP owners to let you use their products in the movie. How did you manage that?
Yes, that was a little tricky, but fortunately for us, we had some great relationships that had long been established, and all the characters that are in the Lego movie have actually literally been created in Lego form. So we focused on those partnerships, and we were able to also demonstrate that this is how kids play. And most of our partners were aware of that based on how we work with them. But in addition to that, I think our filmmakers were brilliant and came up with some very funny, charming ways to use the properties, and we were really pleased ultimately. I think that was one of the things that most surprised people about the film.
Who did you enjoy meeting on set? Which of the actors?
Yes, Yes, no, I enjoyed meeting all of the actors. They were lovely. I think Chris Pratt in particular has just got such a nice way about him and very fun and funny. Will Arnett, who played Lego Batman, he has 2 boys and again was very passionate about the Lego brand, had experienced the brand a lot, so he was great to meet as well.
And when what was the company's goal when you decided finally to allow to make this happen?
Yep.
Were you looking at it as one project, or were you again, like all your projects, did you have this longer term goal in mind?
Yeah, really with the film, our goal was to really engage families in a creative experience. So for us, if families could come to the movie and walk away and feel the creativity of the brand, that was our goal. So even if we didn't sell one additional Lego box, our management would have been happy because we really saw it as a brand building and a shared experience that families could have together.
I don't know how I'm going to follow on that, but when is the next movie coming then?
Yes, there is a lot of speculation about future Lego movies right now. We have announced we're in production right now on a movie based on our popular Ninjago property with Warner Brothers that will be released in 2016. There was a lot of speculation as recently as Friday about what was coming next from Lego, and I can tell you there will be an announcement, I believe, later this week. Unfortunately, I can't reveal those details, but I'm pretty confident that we'll be seeing additional Lego movies in the future.
Okay. Let me take you back a few years to 2000s. The road has had a few bumps along the way,
Yes.
hasn't it? For instance, you started opening your own theme parks and creating your own video games, and the result was nothing but disaster. But what a resurrection. What did you learn from that experience? How did you turn that into the success that you have today?
Yeah. No, I think it was quite some expensive lessons that we learned, and I should qualify that the theme parks and the video games from a consumer experience perspective were always positive, but what really hurt us was just the whole business complexity that it drove, and what we really saw during that time frame was a loss of focus on our core business, which is making fantastic creative experiences and selling Lego sets, and because of the attention necessary and focus on things that were outside of that core. There were some things we needed to clean up in our basic business. And our CEO was very brave and made a very bold choice at that point and really said, there's other ways to do this. So he really focused us back on what was most important to the company. And then we also figured out that we don't have to do everything ourselves. In the past, we just assumed we're Lego, we have to control it all, but we found some fantastic partners. So partnered with TT Games and ultimately Warner Brothers to create our video games, which has been a hugely successful transition for us, and then with Merlin Entertainment on our theme parks. And both of those businesses have thrived and have also served the objectives we wanted them, and that was to build the brand. So it was some painful times, but some really good lessons.
I suppose you have used a similar sort of pattern in the entertainment industry as Amazon did in retail, because what they did, they started basically allowing others to use their platform.
Yes.
What you did, you basically allowed an open sort of relationship between you and others to basically lend each other your assets.
Yes, there's definitely, you could look at it that way. I think always maintaining a control and focus on the brand, but really recognizing that there are people who are experts out there that we could work with and that could actually help us deliver what we were looking to accomplish.
Now you have also, you have said that your move into other platforms has been a natural evolution of the brand. When you look forward in the next few years, what do you expect to be the natural evolution then?
Yes. No, I think you'll continue to see us in this entertainment, in this content space. We're not reformulating the strategy of the company. We'll still always be at our heart a company that is about developing creative experiences, but we feel like we have a role to play within this area. So we are working on a new property that will launch it with a TV series in 2016, and one of the things that we're really focused on is having a real interactivity. And really focusing the idea of the property, the core of it is very much about the digital natives that Anne was talking talking about in the last session about her kids and how they just inherently now know how to work an iPhone, and we're really trying to integrate that into the whole experience. So we're doing that. We're also looking at new formats. We have a Lego documentary that is we've been producing for the last couple of years that will be released next year through Radius, and we're really proud of, and it talks about creativity and the brand and our fan community. We're also looking at some reality competition show formats, which is something new for us, but the idea of becoming a master builder is something we think could be quite resonating with audiences, so that's something we're out exploring and talking to partners about right now. And then we'll do a whole host of content tying into our main properties as well. So
I know that you have always tried to say we are an experience company, not an entertainment company. Although I don't see anything wrong with being called an entertainment company if it is all about interactivity and getting the audiences creatively involved. So people here, entertainment industry, TV industry, if you were to give them a couple of tips, what would those be? Very broad. I know it's a very difficult question to answer, but very broad tips.
No, I think for Lego, the reason that we have been successful, I think, is this focus on our values and making sure that what we're doing was ultimately coming back and promoting what the brand is all about. And creativity, as I said, is really the essence of the brand. And I think having the courage to be true to that. There were a lot of times where we could have probably gone slightly different directions, but we really had the courage of our convictions, and we knew what we stood for. So that would be a piece of advice. I'd also say don't assume that you know everything and can do everything, and work with really talented people. I think that was one thing that really paid off for us.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be looking at your suggestions, and I will tweet the winners in the next hour or two. Thank you very much for listening, and have a wonderful rest of MIPCOM. Thank you, Joe.